In today's video, I'm going to be discussing subjects that are not high level, but I'm going to bring up some complaints and annoyances I have with the vernacular of gamers. Gamers will misuse terms and expressions a lot, and this weasels its way into the community of developers and, more importantly, modders. If everybody in your gaming environment is calling each Doom level an escalation, for instance, just use a random word, they're going to keep using it even though that's not a proper term for it. When it comes to the internet and how we communicate over the internet, we have specific words that are supposed to have not actually fixed meanings, but they're not really all that dynamic. We don't really get to redefine them. It creates confusion, and more importantly, it sounds ignorant. So I'm going to be reading someone's complaint that, again, this person's claiming several times now to be the owner of a server somewhere on the internet for a website, and or the server owner for a gaming server. Gaming servers aren't necessarily web servers. They can be, but not always. And also, on the website the person claims to control, they're using a name, even though it's not the name on their YouTube channel, of a person who's supposed to know technical subjects, but may not. Okay, here we go. And again, if somebody puts out a game and mods it and does something really cool with it, but has, makes a couple of mistakes or doesn't technically have a real technical background, that doesn't matter. If it proofs in the pudding and the tasting of it. If they can do something, they've done it. You can't complain. Just because someone doesn't have a college degree doesn't change the fact that they're going to kick your ass at Call of Duty and maybe know how to modify Call of Duty to be awesome. You never make these presumptions. So this YouTube channel that's contacting me has commented under one of my videos repeatedly, trying to correct me on something and getting it wrong. Now, again, this is based on a gamer speak version of some of the words. So this person's come here on this video that I'm responding to and has said some things, and we're going to cover it. We have recently become aware of your actions in publicly disclosing what you claim to be our IP address. I never made that claim. In the gaming community for a video game called Rust, specifically Legacy Rust or Rust Alpha or Rust Beta, everybody calls it different things. It's supposed to be Rust Beta, apparently. But there's not a very defined set of names. It causes confusion. Okay. The expression IP address has been misused or exclusively used for what you type in to get onto a game server. Because in the game Rust Legacy, it is a static map. That means the map that you have is your default map that when you download the video game is the one that will be used on the server. Not everything will be identical, but it's a starting point. It makes sure you don't have to download a bunch of extra data. Now, the newer version uses procedural mapping, which at both ends can be accomplished by the server and the client, or just the clients need to do it, because the server doesn't technically have to actually even have a map, although it almost always does. The map is there mathematically, but it doesn't actually have to express it. You're not going to be on the server walking around necessarily unless you're the admin. Anyway, this compression of data by not having to send it because you already have the map or because it's procedurally done on both ends so that both systems are building it, makes it to where the communication, which is the bottleneck, doesn't have to be a bottleneck. You only send updates of information and get it spooled up faster. It's a really nice way of doing it. Been around for a while, by the way. Rust Legacy, when you want to connect to another a game server where dozens of other people are already playing, it's the same way you would communicate if you're making a phone call from one phone to another, ostensibly, which means you have to have a phone number. On the internet, a phone number equivalent, roughly, is called an IP address. Most of the time, it's not strictly an IP address. It'll be like LegacyRust.eu and then a port number. It'll just be a number afterwards, like an extension. If you call up a big building, you might have to use an extension number. So it's like phone hookup 43. So it's something 43 at the end that you have to type in. That's kind of the same way this works. But the use of the word IP address is used for whatever I type in or click in order to connect to the server. So it's the server's IP address. Okay. So we recently become aware of your actions in publicly disclosing what I'm supposed to have claimed is, quote, our IP address. The joke about no true Scotsman is going to come up. I've never seen a gaming geek avoid using server or website before this hard. Someone's avoiding using the expression game server IP address. Why are you doing that? This is a person who's claiming to be the owner of the website and the person who's responsible for the game and is signing off, even though they come from a YouTube channel that's blank, as being one of the two people making the game mods. But you don't know to explain which IP address you're referring to. Here we go with a Princess Bride reference. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. Please be advised that we are using Cloudflare services. Well, there's your problem. Which generate dynamic, fictitious IP addresses that do not reflect our true server location. Okay, now we're at the point where someone's assuming that IP address is referring to where you are on the internet. By the way, this is not, I don't know if dynamic and fictitious IP address really is the right terminology. I'm very sure it isn't. But the point is, that's the reason IP addresses don't geolocate. The person's stating that they do not geolocate. I'm talking about the fucking thing you type in the command line to get on the game, dude. That's like clicking Rust PvP no cap, best ever, when you click on the little menu of servers to go onto so you can open that particular game. Rust 5X Ass Kicker 2000. Okay. We're not talking about your physical location. So this is someone who is obviously either completely ignorant of what the fuck I'm talking about, or there's a language barrier. That's the problem. It could be just a language barrier. And a language barrier will make you seem like you're either ignorant or stupid. Those are two different things. Or playing dumb and trolling. We manage our own Cloudflare DNS records. Oh my God. Really? Ensuring that any IP data you expose is neither accurate nor relevant. But the previous comment you made was that you're going to sue me because, of course, you stated that the IP address or data is accurate and relevant, and I'm going to be sued for violating your privacy. Again, no, I didn't violate your privacy because the information is something that you posted already so that we could play the game on your server. And again, this is presuming this person isn't lying about being the main person there. Or main characters, we're going to call the person. So main character here, wannabe, a YouTube channel that doesn't even have a fucking link to the fucking project, and the project does not link to this YouTube channel, has decided to come by and act as the agent of contact here, claiming there's going to be a court case against me. Now, we're playing along here. This could actually be a person who's involved in this that is doing something quite useful. Maybe they're the artist. Maybe they're the person who's just handling the network. Or, again, it could just be a language barrier problem. This is extremely common. And people get a chip on their shoulder. It's like, if I don't know Russian or if I don't know Icelandic, I'm going to get annoyed that you're, communicating with me in such a way that I can't communicate with you. We both sound like idiots to each other. But what we're getting here is not word salad enough for me to say the person's stupid. This could be just badly translated through Google Translate, which happens so often that I can't know. So again, this could be someone trolling me because they're knowingly acting stupid, or it could be a person just made to look stupid because of the Google Translate, or it could be a person who's got a very specialized and narrow set of knowledge thing that's getting mad at me for something I didn't do, or it could literally be, unfortunately, a person in charge of a project, which, again, I've stated, you packed the data in such a way it could be a problem, and it's not safe for me to download, and I won't personally install it. Go ahead if you want to. Anybody else. And number two, as far as I can see from gameplay footage, it's no different than one I got, other than I can't get onto your server. I can't play the game. There's 50 players there, but we can't get on it. And it intermittently shows up in the listing because Legacy Rust.eu, or whatever it's called, the website, the other website, run by somebody completely unrelated, lists it, and they show your IP address. We have also noticed your misleading claims about our software installer files. They're not misleading. You're using NO installer, it's an executable, and the thing won't let me fucking unpack it manually. That's it. If you don't know about gamers being paranoid about a download from some random website that claims to be totally legit, and you made your packer program to where we can't rip it open and make sure it's really just a copy of Rust, if you don't get that, I don't think you're a gamer. I mean, you might not be. Maybe you're just a sales guy. It is completely standard practice to offer an installer for any program. I know that. But it's not standard practice to make it to where we have to do the trust me, bro. Again, the game doesn't belong to you. It doesn't. It's something that was written literally 10 years ago by Facepunch, and they made their installer to where we could rip it open. Because I was able to get an old copy of it. I mean, it doesn't work because it's assuming I'm going to use Steam, and I didn't. And it has a bunch of other assumptions. That's why the other versions we use that we can play have all that crap turned off or replaced or edited out. Those are modified files. And I scan them. I can't scan your fucking downloader. I have to trust that it works. Our files work flawlessly for everyone else. I know that, but I'm not willing to run a virtual machine or a test bed for a Trust Me Bro install that could flash my BIOS. I won't install your program. Either offer it as an extractable file, preferably a zip file, and be done with it, because that works just fine. I did an experimental test to see if I could make one about the same size, and the file sizes are so similar, I'm not seeing any modifications. The only modification that could be there would be probably a single file that says what server to go through, and maybe having a handshake code, or whatever you call it, so it'll work on that server. That's all I need. In fact, you could publish that. We could all modify our copies and go on your server, and we wouldn't have to have this conversation. No downloads needed. Which, again, you're not paying attention, and at this point, the person here, not necessarily the people who made this project, this person is demonstrating a profound lack of knowledge. If you're experiencing difficulties, we can provide it in a zip format. That's what I fucking asked for in the first fucking place in the video, and you went after me and said you're going to sue me. Put it up on the website. And by the way, at this point, here we go. If you are actually associated with this project, I'm stating that you're profoundly stupid, or you're litigious, or both, or it's an error in communication. It's not an error in communication. You could have had one of your English language friends look at this. I have people I can contact on the internet that are fluent in I think there's about 80 languages that I can look up. And they all owe me a favor because I fixed their computer or something decades ago. And they'll occasionally do a translation for me. Or I can just run it through Google Translate and not assume that someone's trying to be mean to me. Someone is watching my video and assuming I'm trying to track down their physical location and fuck with them. At this point, this is way too much. This has got to be trolling. And again, if you're experiencing difficulties, we can provide it in zip format. Why didn't you do that in the first place? The file size isn't any different. You can even put an encoding on it. You can say it's encrypted with the password Open Sesame. That makes it to where virus scanners can't scan it, but we can uncrack it, and then we can check it. If you're worried about it being blocked or labeled, that can be a problem too. Some of the websites that host old copies of Rust Legacy, have takedown notices, because technically it is a violation of copyright. Okay, so what you do is you put up one that has a really easy to guess password like password. That's plausible deniability, so the file doesn't get taken down. Again, the fucking point of the entire video was release it as a zip file so I can play the game, you dickhead. At this point, yeah, you're being dickheads. By sharing false information and defaming our services, you're violating YouTube's community guidelines. By you claiming things about my video underneath it that have nothing to do with anything I've done, you're doing the same. We hereby demand that you remove the offending videos immediately. You just explained that you're capable of putting out a zip file and you're offering to do so, which is the point of the video. What the fuck are you going off of? Failure to do so will result in escalating the matter directly to YouTube for further action. YouTube will let you flag my videos in an instant. Why aren't my videos down, and why do I still have YouTube channels? YouTube is absolutely preferential to this. I've been marked for death on YouTube for a long time. They wanted to get rid of my channels a long time ago because I'm not making them any money. It doesn't have anything to do with the content. If you were going to flag the channel, you would have already done it by now. Because trust me, bro, this kind of behavior you're showing, profound ignorance and aggressiveness, and immediately going to the words lawyer and lawsuit, you're the kind of person who flags shit for no good reason. It may include content takedown and penalties against your channel. We trust you understand the seriousness. Kindly remove the videos without delay. I'm not removing the videos any more than I would do anything else, and I'm going to duplicate this video and put it on both channels. You want to be the main character, you want to be talked about, you want drama, you've got it. Again, if you're experiencing difficulty, we can provide it in zip format. That's the whole fucking point of the original video. That was the whole point. I'm not taking it down because you're being profoundly stupid. And again, disclaimer, this person probably has nothing to do with the project. They're acting dumb. Next, is this an AI bot? Next thing is if something's abandonware or is lost media or whatever, make sure it's something you can extract before you run it. Don't trust it all the time. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.